Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Eva Francis, and I'm here today with you all, wonderful people, beautiful people, and we are going to be having a great time. We are going to be having a meeting. We're going to start on time and end on time. We want to respect everyone's time, and our hard stop is at hopefully 10 p.m. Um, this is one of our follow-up meetings that we want to have just to kind of keep everyone in check and to remind you that iron sharpens iron and to see where we are on our journey when it comes to our staffing company and see how we can move to the next level. So in this meeting, we want to talk about our next step, our next level. Where are you in your staffing journey? Because we know we have some people who are killing it. They are going every single day. They are working hard. They are making sure they are doing everything that they can to move the needle in their staffing company. And we do have a few that kind of like getting a little tired, that kind of a thing. So I'm here today to remind you guys that don't drop the ball. Do not drop the ball. And here's why you shouldn't drop the ball. I wrote down a few little tips I want to share with you. And they're pretty very simple, but they're just reminders because you have the right to do what you're called to do. You have the right to do what you're called to do. Many of you have been thinking about the staffing agency for years, since you were in nursing school, since you have started your first year, and you have not moved forward. This is your time. You have the right to be wealthy. And if you are looking for generational wealth, this is a good opportunity for you. It's a good opportunity to connect with talented professionals and great organizations. I want to say to you this, guys, do not, do not play smaller than you have to. Do not play smaller than you have to. Get rid of this limited mindset that I need more information, I need more videos, I need more this, I need more that. You have what it takes to succeed. Because sometimes what we have to do is to jump. As Steve Harvey says, jump with the information you have. Build your wings while you are getting down. You will never have you will never have adequate information. This staffing company here, here it is, guys. This is something that you have to grow every single day. You grow as you learn as you go along. A lot of times you will start something and you will try to, I know one of our clients, she was getting her contract and she was, trying to get her contract and she was trying to get that contract, but she had questions along the way. And I was there to help her with some of these questions. And I wanted to know that you are not going to have all the answers. You may be going into a billing meeting and you still don't have the answers, and you have to really seek out opportunities with individuals to get the answers. Do not hold your staffing business hostage. Some of us are holding the business hostage. Some of us are literally holding our staffing company hostage when we should be going forth and making sure that we do everything we can to launch that business. You have everything, guys, you need. You don't need any more information. You need encouragement, you need inspiration, you need empowerment, but you have everything that you need. Follow the blueprint and work with what you have. And as you take the next step, you are going to see, and you're going to see that, wow, I don't know the answer here, but I have resources around me. I have resources. In our group, we have an accountant, and she's available if you have questions. We have a web designer. She's available if you have questions. We have a consultant who can help you with your license. She's available if you have questions. We have an advanced coach who will make a multi-million-dollar coach, Mr. Brian. He's there for us. We have a Larry who is a millionaire. He's there for us. My staffing company is moving leaps and bounds. It's growing. This week, I garner another huge contract with a medical center right here in South Florida that I've been working on for such a long time, and I just got it. If you are focusing on hospitals or nursing homes or wherever, focus, just keep your focus, guys. And I mean, I work hard, meaning that I keep my focus, meaning that there are organizations that I've been after for years, not, I'm sorry, for months. And I may not have gotten them, but rest assured that I'm going to get into Broward General. Did you hear that, Sheehan? Sheehan, Sterling, Sheehan,
Yes,
I said to you, rest assured that I'm going to get into Broward General. Eva Francis, I'm
I
speaking.
hear you.
Okay, so if you don't want to chase after it and get it before me,
Uh-huh.
I got a lot of hospitals, and I tell there are two that I'm after. Broward General is one of them, and there's another one. I'm not going to call in and give away any more of my secrets. I give it. I give Broward General has a lot of entities. They have Coral Springs Medical Center. They have Broward General. They have Pampona Beach. Listen, they need people. I know that a company all the way from California just got signed a contract with them recently. I'm like, whoa, where was she, Han? My gosh, where was Eva? All this up. Where was Leonie? I'm talking about you South Floridians. Where was Jennifer Paul? Where was Virgie? All you South Floridians. Listen, guys, go up there and go after it. Stop getting staffing advice from non-staffing professionals who have never run a staffing agency and they are not making any money. Don't take advice from people who are not making any money. Take advice from people who are making money, who are killing it, who know what they're talking about. Some of us are being discouraged because we are listening to people who are not making any money. We will listen to all kind of negative posts that people posting about social media about staffing, and we are not following the blueprint. You have everything that you need, guys. Stop looking for more information. Use what you have. Take the leap and build your wings as you're going down. You cannot see your business flaws if you do not take the leap. You don't know what you don't know until you start. You will not know. So here's what I want to say to you. Have the confidence in your abilities and stop disqualifying yourself saying that you don't have the experience. It's not a magic, guys. It's all about confidence. It's all about confidence. So when you start your company and when you start rolling out and you start launching and you say, listen, I'm going to get the contract and you start getting busy and you start getting back to school and different things. Guys, doesn't matter what you're doing. Create time in your day to move the needle in your staffing agency. Create some time, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. The contract is not going to come to you if you just do it, if you just work on it just one day a week. You have to increase your hours you're spending on the phone or in your email. You have to carve out 2, 3 hours a day. Turn off your phone, shut down the Facebook app, your LinkedIn app, or whatever is going to distract you, and say, you know what? I am going to use these 3 hours and I am going to launch and I'm going to call, I'm going to focus, I'm going to go down my list and I'm going to keep repeating my list over and over again. You cannot get a contract by just calling one day a week. I'm going to tell you from now. You have to constantly put aside everything that you're doing and say, listen, I'm not saying, if you have a job, you should put that away, but put aside the distractions and say 2 hours a day, every morning between 8 to 12, I'm going to be consistent. Consistency lies the contract. You cannot get the contract if you're not consistent. And when you get the contract, you cannot build your business without nurses or without healthcare professionals. You have to hire, hire, hire every day. Every day. I was coaching someone this week and the person said, I don't have any nurses. And this is what I said to that particular nurse. I said, what kind of marketing you are doing for your nurses? What about your email list? Do you even have an email list, guys? Every single one of you on this line today should have an email list. You should have an email list that you send out every day to get nurses. You're not going to get it without nurses. So I want to say that to you. And I want to remind you that start where you are right now. And you have to set a goal. What's my next step? I want to hear from all of us. What's my next step? And afterward, I'm going to have Brian talk to us about, I wanted to go over, Brian, the vendor management a little, because some people who are not getting contract, I'm not sure why you're running away from vendor management. If you don't have contract, if you have your direct contract, I'm okay with that. if you have a direct contract, or but don't run away from subcontracting or vendor management if you have zero contract. So without a contract and without staff, you have no business. So I'm saying this to you today. I am saying this to you today. If you have your business set up already from a legal standpoint, you have your registration done, your license, your insurance, and all of these things, take the next step. Get on cms.gov and write down all the list of all these nursing homes and hospitals around you. Call them up, visit them. Healthcare staffing is not going anywhere, guys. A lot of people saying, oh, COVID is going. COVID is gone. No, healthcare staffing is not going anywhere. So I want you to speak to each and every one of you there. What's your next step? What have you done recently and what is your next step? What do you plan to do in the next 2 weeks as far as your staffing agency is concerned? And we're going to go over vendor management and go over some of the tips that you can use to get to really step out there with to get your contracts. And I'm going to have Brian go over a lot of that because of his experience that he has when it comes to grabbing those contracts. Go for those facilities, guys. So let me start with Leonie. Leonie, tell us about your experience. I know you have had some great experiences, and I know you are moving forward, but in my opinion, you're not moving fast enough, because by now you should be taking over all of West Palm Beach. Leonie,
I'm here, Eva, Dr. Eva. Hi.
yeah, tell us about what's your next step. I'm calling on names now. Tell me where you are and what's your next step for the next 2 weeks, because we want to get you unstuck. Some of us are stuck and not moving. We
Well,
want
that's my goal, to get unstuck.
what
So
wants to get unstuck.
so what I've done, so I've set up daily goals for myself. So today I spoke with the Pineapple Staffing, so I'm trying to get me a virtual assistant. And then also too, I've placed ads on Indeed, so I'm doing massive hiring, in the next few days, because I had, like I texted you yesterday, a facility called me, which most of my HHAs could not work for me today. I mean, to work for the facility. So my goal is, and then I'm networking with different companies and try to get contracts. So I guess the first step is to get the staff. The second step is to get the contracts. I think you're on mute. I can't hear anything.
Where else are you looking for staff outside of Indeed?
Facebook,
Okay.
and then word of mouth, because most of my staff, I'm texting them, people I know. So a lot
Hmm.
of, word of mouth, and see if they can refer me to their friends and family.
And don't forget, guys, somebody's trying to get in. Let me just look them in. Don't forget, don't forget that you can utilize your email list and ask people to recommend. Because that's one of the things I tell you, I have almost over 200 nurses, going on 300, I should say. Or maybe if I think about some of those who have not worked for a long time, it's like almost 300. I have a lot of nurses, and because I focus on the hospitals. And I want to tell you this, I can't tell you, I tell you, I have never, maybe one time, a few times I've posted on Facebook, and maybe one time on Indeed, but not, I mean, I would say 90% of my nurses are actually word of mouth. Each one tell each one. And then you can do that. You can ask your friends to pay like a $200 bonus, and recruitment referral bonus, and recruit nurses, and focus on nurses who have literally, they have their jobs already in a hospital and they want to do supplemental staffing, whether it's nursing home um, or um, or long-term care facility or hospitals. Just focus on hiring every day. Build your pool, guys. Build your pool. So that's great, Leonie. My thing is, I want to hear what are you doing, what are you doing in the next few 2 weeks, so you can really get at least one or two solid contract. Because it doesn't matter how many nurses you have, you need some solid nursing home or hospital contract. What about your local hospitals around you? When you hire those nurses, what is blocking you from reaching out to those hospitals in your community?
Well, this is, the first thing I said is now I'm getting unstuck. So I already have a list already of hospitals to call. So that's on my to-do list for tomorrow. Some of the dialysis centers and the hospitals. So that's on my to-do list.
Perfect. And you know what? I want to say this to you. Even if you hear a no, that means nothing. You're going to say to them, is it okay? Ask them this question. Is it okay if I circle back with you in another 2 weeks? Once I say yes, you have a strong possibility of getting a contract.
Okay.
Do some things that people normally don't do. Connect with nursing supervisors at nights, guys. I cannot tell you how important that is. Call your nursing directors at nights and say, listen, I know it's in the middle of the night, but I'm asking you, do you guys, are you guys, um, would you guys do you think that you can your facility will utilize some supplemental staff or some per diem staff or whatever? That's the best time to call when they are so stressed out with staffing they don't have nurses at all. She's going to take your card and give it to the chief nursing officer in the morning and say, call Jennifer, she has nurses and she called last night. They're a company. Act like your company is a 24/7 because it is. I'm calling from Brilliant Staffing Agency. We are here tonight, and we just want to know if you are, and you're not lying. We are here because it's your company and you're 24/7. We are here because you may be home, but that's your own office. And we want to know if you are interested in utilizing some of our amazing nurses or CNAs that we have. We are local. There's a tip I want to give to you guys. Many organizations today, they're not interested in contracts that much because contract one of the organizations that I got a yes from this week, they said, you know what, I'm we are saying yes to Brilliant Healthcare staffing, and the main reason because we are per diem and supplemental. We are per diem. We are not trapped. We weren't interested in a contract because signing a contract is a lot more expensive for the organization. So when you present yourself as a per diem to them, you are going to get some yeses. I am challenging you guys. It works. Don't shy away from it. Have the confidence and step out. Neva, what are you doing to get unstuck? Neva Alexander, what's your next step and what are you doing to get unstuck?
Well, as you know, I had the issue with getting insurance because my staffing agency was a DBA. So I kind of held it right there, and I'm just getting some other things in order, um, like my website, my 800 number, things like that. So when I do get past the insurance issue, I can move forward. And when I'm telling a facility that I'm a nursing agency and this is my website and things of that sort, it's up and running. So I just decided to just move forward working on other things until I could get past the insurance issue, which I probably will just separate it as its own entity.
Which of the insurance you're having trouble with again?
All of it, the liability and the general, because the LLC that it's under is my lab service, and so right now no one is willing to insure the lab, so I have to separate them. I didn't want to, but I have to if I'm gonna get insurance.
That's your only alternative right now to separate them. And you feel comfortable doing that?
At this point, I really didn't want to, just because uh, the the services as the nursing agency could kind of intersect with the services that I offer in my lab. So I
Yeah,
kind of
I
wanted
can
to
see
keep it
that.
as a DBA.
I can see this as a problem with your insurance to have it like you have a combined. It's two different services, you know. So I would say, and this is my encouragement to everyone, um, when you have a staffing agency, healthcare staffing agency, I mean, I make it as clean as possible. Don't tag on other businesses to it. Make it as clean as you possibly can. I also hear you said I'm working on a whole lot of other things. Be very specific with what you guys are working on, because that's when you get stuck. You get stuck when you jumble up everything that you're working on. List everything and take them one day at a time. You said website. You have a couple choices. You can create a website very inexpensive with Wix, or you can connect with Amanda in our organization, in our Facebook page, and she will help you with the website. She will help you with the website. She's doing the website at reason prices. And if you take a look at Damali's website, oh my God, it looks so polished. You take a look at Jamie's website, it looks so polished. You take a look at who else did a website with her. Is she going to be doing your website, Virgie? Virgie, she's you need to you're muted, Virgie. But I know, is she gonna?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did speak to her, and she's ready. But my thing is, I was a little stuck. But when my opportunity come out there, I was stuck with doing my application even, and then the liability. So once I get that started, she's waiting for me to contact her, but I'm ready to move forward then with that.
And we're going to be helping you to get your license, correct?
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing that when Virgie called, if you're here in Florida and you haven't gotten your license, I want you to know this. I don't think anyone here that needs. But when you get information about what you should do from what you should not do, like someone told her that she need an office, she need a space to start up with, and all kind of stuff. Be very careful, because in some states you can start with a home office. I specifically spoke with the a representative there who really issued the license. And she said, you can start in Florida from a home office. And my recommendation to you is, yes, you can start, but branch off as you go along, get your at least an office address or an office space, especially if you want to go to Joint Commission, if you're going to go to Joint Commission accreditation in the future. So I want to encourage you to encourage you to do that. So the next thing, Neva, is this. You said you're trying to get an 800 number. And I want to also remind you guys that if you are looking for a phone number, you can go to Ringcentral. Our company use Ringcentral. Use Ringcentral. Ringcentral is very, very good. Ringcentral is super good, which means that, and it's very low cost as well. And it doesn't matter if you have virtual assistants. When you use Ringcentral, they can set it up in such a way that your phone calls, if your virtual assistants are in India, if they are in the Philippines, if they are in Jamaica, if they are in Haiti, wherever your virtual assistants are, they can set up your company in such a way, set it up in such a way that your virtual assistants are communicating with your nurses and your facilities as if they are right here locally. You can select your own number, 954 number. If you don't want to pay any money, here are some other resources. There's an app, write this down if you're looking for extra number. There's an app called Text Now, TextNow. You can use that app and you can select your own number and use that number for your business. It works. I tried it and it works beautiful. But the only thing is it comes with some advertisement every time, every now and again, the ads just pop up. You can pay $9.99 and get rid of the apps. There are many other resources. If you don't want to pay for an 800 number, if you don't want to pay for a big cost, you can get an 866 or an 800 number from Ringcentral. And with that 800 number, you can get some other local numbers from it. And you can pay something like $50 a month, $60 a month. You can get an 866 number as your main number, and you can have a voice recording on it that says, you have reached South Florida Healthcare Staffing Company. For human resources, press 1. For payroll, press 2. For staffing, press 3. For all of the callers, speech, line, stuff like that, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And you probably pay like $50, $60 a month, or even 70, maybe not even that much. You can get that, whatever you want. And you can go to these apps and it's for free. The Text Me app is for free. Oh, there's another one that one of my virtual assistants told me about the other day. It's called Ding Me, Ding, what she says? I'm going to tell another one. Write these down if you really want to get some resources that you don't want to pay too much money. It's called Ding Me. Ding Me now. Ding Me. Let me look up. She gave it to me. I'm looking. I have to find. I don't know. I think it's Ding Me. I can't find the message that she sent me. But all I know, it works well because I've actually tried it for 24 hours, and it works. You can try it privately and see, instead of paying for all these expensive 800 number that you may not be using, you can try that. Okay. Okay, it's called Ding Tone. Ding Tone is good. Number one, Ding Tone. And then you have Text Now. And then you have free text. And then you have Text Me. Even though it said text, but you can use those as to make phone calls. So I'm just letting you know that these are resources that you can use and they cost you nothing. All right, great. Shihan, where are you and what do you plan to do to get unstuck?
Well, I just well, I already had a system before, but because I was remodeling, kind of was like off to the side. But now I hired a new assistant. So this week
You're breaking up. For some reason, you're breaking up. For some reason, you're
I'm
breaking.
driving. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so now I have the new assistant. She started this week, so we've been knocking out a lot of the administrative type things out of the way. So teaching her how to do some of that so I can get back to trying to get some of the contracts and putting my time where it's much needed.
Perfect. How many hospitals have you called since you in the last week?
Well, I only called one.
How many times have you called?
Sorry.
Within your
I called.
How many times did you call? How many
I
times?
called one hospital, but I did have insurance agency or no insurance company, different from the one we spoke about before. Talked to them, so I've been working on seeing what's gonna happen with that relationship. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Insurance is talking to the hospital for you?
No, it's an insurance company that needs nurses to staff.
Oh, okay, okay. That's a
For
contract.
like
Whatever.
like case management, management kind of thing.
That's a good thing too. You don't have to just focus on
Right,
the
for remote. Yeah, for remote.
Yes, I hear you. You're breaking up, but what I'm hearing you saying that you are reaching out to an insurance company, they may need nurses, and that's your next step. Awesome, 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 awesome. That is great. I want you to focus on there's a need in South Florida though for hospitals and agencies that they're not going to look at you and say, hey, come over here, there's a need. But if you work hard enough, if you push them hard enough, you will get contracts from them. All right, Barbara, tell us about your experience. I know Barbara, you've been killing it. What you can do is, Barbara, tell us about your experience with how did you land your contract? I just wanted to speak for like just 2 minutes, not too long. How you land your contract? What were the tips you used to land your contracts and doing so well? Because you have been getting contracts back to back, girl. You go, girl.
Okay. God, but one of them, well, it's a friend of mine who's an administrator at a nursing home, and so he gave me his facility, and we were working on getting 2 more with his administrator friends. But another one is just somebody I randomly called when I was I just like go around and look at the different facilities in one area, and then I just called them all. And I have my husband helping me, and we just randomly called and we sent them over the contract and they signed. But what I've come to realize is that getting the contract is hard, but after the contract, it really comes in the hard work. So, getting the nurses and getting them to actually commit to work for you is difficult. So we keep offering incentives. It's like you kind of have to balance what you're willing to lose in order to build your business. as far as what you're willing to give them so they could work for you and pick up shifts for you.
Yes, yes.
So, that's where I'm stuck right now.
The first step is to get the contract. And you said, I like what she said, guys. She randomly called and they say, send over the contract. Wow. What language did you use to get the yes? Anything special?
Yeah, so I just said, hey, I have a few nurses in the area who really like your facility, and they want to, like, they pick that facility as a premier facility for nurses to work at. And would you be willing to contract with us? We have nurses ready and vetted. And she said, well, we don't need CNAs now, but we might need help with
Okay. And that should,
we just sent them over the contract and they went with us. And this week they are dropping one other agency and they want to use us exclusively. So
wow. That is awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome.
That's
So
great.
your issues now, where you need to get, you're unstuck. You're not stuck at all. But where you need to take to the next level, you're not stuck. Where you need to take your company to the next level, Barbara, is to get quality professionals. Because you can lose a contract when you don't have great nurses and great LPNs and RNs and CNAs to work with. So I am going to, and of course you have been offering incentives and build yourself an email list as well, and send out your email list into your team on a regular basis and just offer incentives. And sometimes you have to, when you just start a company, you're going to be you're not going to gain a lot of money initially. Sometimes you have to give up to gain a lot. When I first started, guys,
Yeah.
I tell you, even though sometimes paying the nurses $70 and $80 an hour, sometimes I have, oh, somebody's on, somebody, a lot of noise in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Me.
What I did, I remember during the holiday time, because I did not want to lose my contract. Here's what I did. I pay my nurses almost as much as not every night. Once in a while, like if I really need nurses badly and I don't want to tell the organizations no, I will pay the nurses as close to my billing rate as much as possible. I've done it. And sometimes I have one of my clients outside of the state. She said she has actually paid her billing rate for a whole week. That's not good. You can't do that all the time. But once in a while, hey, you have to take a chance. And the reason behind it is whatever it takes to keep that contract, especially if it's a profitable contract like some of those large medical centers. Those are good contracts, guys. You don't want to lose them. You want to be very, very connected with them and supply them with nurses as much as possible. So I like what Barbara said about that random contract, and she did it. So it is not impossible, guys. It is not impossible. So who else? Jennifer, anything about your staffing company? You want to say anything? Jennifer. All right. Okay. Hey, Larry Wicks.
I'm teaching a class,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
I'm teaching a class. I can't really.
Okay, that's fine. There's someone here with the iPhone. I don't know the name. Who is this? Is one of our team members? I don't know. Larry Wilkes. I know you just come on, but we are sharing tips on either you share tips on moving forward, or tips for success, or tips to prevent yourself or anyone else to unstuck. Larry is not stuck, so it doesn't have to talk about unstuck. As a matter of fact, I wanted him to speak tonight to share with you guys some of the tips Larry is as a very, very successful staffing agency. And what I want you to share tonight for the team, Larry, just for encouragement's sake and empowerment's sake and inspiration, before I ask Brian to share the tips, I want Brian to talk about especially why should you guys go, because I see that a lot of people are straying away from vendor management. So Larry, if you have to give my team here 2 or 3 tips for success. Tell us what you have been doing to be so successful. Larry makes a lot of money in his company. What you have been doing to get that many contracts to be so successful. What are some of the tips that you will encourage a new staffing agent to do to be successful? I know the tip that I'm going to tell you guys, do not give up at all. You have to be consistent and confident. Confidence and consistency are key to success. Even if you feel like your company is shaky, when you're talking to these organization, be as confident as you can. Let them think that if they don't sign your staffing company, you know they are going to lose out. They are going to miss out, and that's what you have to do. I actually gave this speech to one of my medical center this week. Like, listen, you're talking to you're not, you're talking to one of the best, and you have to really be confident about it, confident with your nurses. Just let them know you're not the typical agency staff where they just call you, hey, you agency over here. You are running an organization with some quality, cutting edge nurses. I said to them, brilliant nurses are on the cutting edge. Brilliant nurses are on the cutting edge. That's what I tell them. And my tagline is brilliant nurses lead. They love that at the hospital. Brilliant nurses lead. That's my tagline. And I said, my nurses are on the cutting edge. They know about the Joint Commission recommendations, standard. They know about ACA. They know about everything. And when the organizations send information to you to follow up, make sure you follow up. Treat it like this is your baby. This is your organization. I don't treat my organizations as if they are just some clients out there. They are part of my company, and they want to see that. They will never drop your agreement if you treat them like that. And treat your nurses as if you are their chief nursing officer. You are their nurse director. Treat them the same way. Have a meeting with them, whether it's virtual meetings, send them emails, give them recognition, acknowledge them when they do something good. Listen, guys, leadership counts when it comes to this thing. Don't believe that leadership is just for nurse managers and nurse executives and CEO. You have to take on a leadership role to be successful in this job here. So Larry, tell us some things that you think what you think the team needs to know to get on. Some people are needs to be unstuck, and we're trying to get others.
Well, you touched on a lot of it. I'm going to tell a short story. I'm a storyteller, but just a little bit of my background. My staffing agency, New Beginning Staffing, is my fourth business. I've started businesses before that has been successful, has not been successful. I have Wilkes Wellness Services. That's my original baby, where we do in-home primary care services. I'm a part owner of a LPN nursing school, and then there's New Beginnings Staffing, and I've done some preceptor solutions and a whole bunch of other stuff. But there's one thing that's very important is leverage your relationships. If you were a nurse before, you still have nursing friends that are within facilities, and you can leverage those relationships into contracts. In Chicago, I leveraged relationships into 3 contracts within my first week of being open. And by the second month at one of my facilities, I was doing $70,000 a week. And now at that facility, we have dropped our COVID crisis pay, and we're doing our regular bill rate. And I'm now doing $96,000 a week at that facility. There's one facility that was difficult in paying, which I come across. And in managing that, I started reducing the number of nurses that I was sending. And they wanted to hire one of my nurses. They're 9 weeks behind in their pay. So instead of charging them to hire my nurse, I told them to pay all my back money, and I got my check for whatever amount. and now I'm square with them, and it cost me a nurse, but
Mhm.
I'm also got all the money that was sitting out there, which was over $200,000.
Wow.
So those are some little tips, but you never give up. You make those phone calls to the facilities, and also utilize the vendor management system.
Mhm.
When we had the call with career staff, my staff just started the did their training today for career staff, and
Hold
we're
on, hold it right there. Say that again, because I know there are people on this line that are questioning vendor management, and some want to do it and some don't want to do it. Just say this again, because I tell you, if you don't have contracts,
it
contract
is,
vendor management is
yes,
is better than having nothing. It's a great.
right. See, vendor management, you're looking at that, oh, they're only paying certain amount of rate. But if you looked at that, then there wouldn't be dollar stores wouldn't be successful. Walmart wouldn't be successful. It's about value. You either could profit $20 an hour on 10 nurses, or $10 an hour on 200 nurses.
Yes.
You know, so you don't turn down that money. Something like back in the day when you asked your mama for $2 to get some chips and she only gave you $1, you didn't say no, 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 I don't want that dollar. And it's the same thing in business. And I'm a firm believer of the Walmart principle of value. You
Yeah.
get you a contract, and that contract, you may meet someone that you can leverage into a contract with another facility. It's all about building a network. You take that contract, which may not be the best in your mind, but you're looking at building a network because you have nothing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer. One of the facilities that I took a contract early on wasn't the best rate, but that also allowed me to reestablish relationships. And I was able to, with that relationship, they was like, Larry, let me connect you with the CEO over at St. Bernard Hospital, which helped me get another contract. So
See what-
as you establish that relationship, and that help, and pick you a superstar nurse. That superstar nurse will go into that facility, and they will love that nurse, and therefore love your agency, and they will continue to book you. Because once you get a contract, you have to service it. So they have contracts with multiple agencies, but if they like you, they're going to use you more than they use the other agency. You will be a first choice, even when your rates are higher. One hospital, my rates are higher than the other agencies, but they love my nurses. So they call me.
Awesome. That's great. That's good. These are some good tips, guys. I love what you said to establish and leverage those relationships. Let me tell you, relationship will take you to the next level when it comes to your staffing company. So Larry, just tell us one more thing about the vendor management. When you first start with vendor management, did you start making money from it, or you feel like you were wasting your time?
Um, I don't feel it's a waste of time, because money is very important. Relationships is very important. I started with career staff and favorite healthcare system or what have you. Um, and I did some research on favorites. The only bad thing I heard about favorites was the fact that they sometimes try to steal your nurses. However, you have a good relationship with your nurses, that won't ever be a problem. When I
Exactly.
worked agency, I worked for Whitecap Nursing. I loved Whitecap Nursing. They were very good to me. You could never steal me away from Whitecap. And you treat, and I was that superstar nurse for Whitecap. I went into every new contract, and I established the face of Whitecap in that facility, and they wanted every nurse like me. And if you're a nurse and you treat those contracts like that's your business too, it will work out great for you.
Awesome. That's great. So guys, you've heard it straight from the person who's working it. You know, I have, you know, I definitely looking at,
Eva, may I make a statement?
yes, go ahead, Brian. Go
Well,
ahead.
turns out
Call on you anyway.
Larry Wilkes and I have been connected for 5 months.
Wow.
Yes.
You remember that, Larry?
Yes,
And,
Brian.
and here's the deal, Eva.
Yes, sir.
Networking is so important, but you have to have integrity when you network. Larry and his partner spoke to me, 2 women from St. Louis. One referred Larry to me. Larry and I spoke. Larry said he was doing 75,000 after 4 weeks. He was the owner of 4 businesses. He already had payroll in place. He already had workers' comp. He already had relationships with these facilities. And I said to Larry, I'm not your solution at this point. When you start doing more business and your receivables go out to 45 or 60 days, that's when we talk. In the interim, since Larry and I started talking, he's referred 3 new clients to me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
I
great.
believe in Brian. I believe in Brian's system is perfect for a new agency. Perfect.
Yep. Yep. You hear what he said, Brian? He said he believe in your system is perfect for a new agency. It's perfect for starting company.
And we really are. And yet Larry was beyond our system, and he had relationships that allowed him to turn the receivables much faster. But for a startup that's uncomfortable, that doesn't have Larry's personality and needs, as Larry talked about, it's okay to use a stepping stool to get your business going. That
Yes.
mess is a stepping stool.
Yeah.
Career staff allows you to bid on each shift, so you're not stuck with a particular bill rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
You,
Right.
you just have to be sharp enough to manage your business when you get with the VMS. But Favorite now has got to, more of our clients are going to Favorite. Career staff has a large percentage of our clients that are using them. So for people that don't have the personality to go knock on 50 doors a week, you know what? Take some revenue. Some revenue is better than no revenue. And
Yes.
and getting with the VMS and learning your process and procedures as you're beginning to grow is a great, it's first, second, third grade, but it gets you on track to manage your business. God, if you had a direct bill contract that needed 200 nurses and you're a brand new agency, you're going to be overwhelmed. Start with a little bit, build upon that, build upon that. Use the career staff system. They've got hundreds and hundreds of facilities across the country. So take the advantage of knowing what your VMS positives are, knowing what the negatives are, and figure out how to best leverage the positives. But it will get you to, and Eva, we talk about this all the time. 8 RNs at 75 an hour, working 36 hours a week is a $1.1 million business. Okay, so if you got to pay career staff.
Can you say that again? Can you say the formula one more time? Write it down, guys. Write it down and meditate upon it. Sometimes we have to see it. The Bible said, write down the vision, make it plain and see it. So Larry, say this again, write it down, guys, and keep saying it and look at it. Say that formula again, please.
Yes, it's 8 RNs filling out at 75 an hour. Each of the nurses working 3 12s, so 36 hours a week. So it's 8 times 75 times 36 times 52 weeks, and that is $1,123,200.
That's $1 million business right there.
It is. And if the way to get there is to start by using VMSs, take that. Why wait 3, 6, 9, 12 months to do $200,000 in billing when you got $1 million in front of you?
That's right.
Okay,
Is it
and
possible to for this formula to work with the VMS system, in your opinion?
Oh, 100%, because with career staff, you can bid on shifts. And if you're filling the shifts that the facility can't fill, nights and weekends, and especially if here's a trick too. If you're using people that are working in facilities that are just looking to work agency to pay bills, they may be willing to work the nights and the weekends. And if they are, then you can get that step up rate to offset the VMS fee. And now you're in a position to build that $1 million business. Why not? If 8 RNs will do that, what will 25, 35, 55 do for you? Okay. So it's great to work hard, and we all work hard every darn day, but work smart while you're working hard.
Right.
You don't have to beat your head against the wall. Figure out a path of least resistance that makes sense for your business.
Right. And Barbara, like you said, you're having a little bit of difficulty with the staffing your staff, and sometimes some staff need a little bit of nurturing. They're high maintenance, but as time goes by and you get used to doing it, it's gonna come easier and easier and easier. So just don't give up on it. Just stroke their back a little and send them out as much as you can. For me, staffing is an easy thing to do, and I think maybe one of the reasons, because I've been doing a lot of staffing over the years. For the last 30 years in my career, I've been managing staff and doing staffing and all these things, not necessarily agency, but being in hospital administrator and overseeing department is pretty much the same thing like what I'm doing now. And I find it enjoyable, and you have some staff that you really have to stroke their backs. You have some who are very, very high maintenance, but you just have to go out of your way for them if they're really, really worth that. If it's a staff who don't worth your time, it is what it is. But I want to say that nurture them as much as you can, guys. Hire staff, nurture them. If you don't know how to hire them, listen, I can help you with when it comes to how you hire staff, or Google how to hire people. Learn as much as you can about interviewing questions and get the best people on board. Get them on board. But what I'm here tonight to say to you, don't drop the ball. Don't drop the ball, and don't think that you're not ready. A lot of people out there are dropping the ball because they don't feel. I talk to you guys, a lot of you guys all the time. They're dropping the ball like you don't feel you are ready. You are more ready than you think, and you're going to build your wings as you're going down, because you don't know what you don't know until you face the situation. When you face the situation, you ask questions. Drop some questions in the chat box. Drop some questions in the chat box. Brian, I want to ask you this question for the purpose of my team members. Share with the team members how you can help them, like right now. What can you do in your company to help these members so that you guys are not, some people are stressed about the payroll and the money. Listen, guys, if you have some savings, you don't have to use all your savings to pay your individuals. And some of you guys are not reaching out for contract because you feel you don't have the money, you don't feel ready, but you are readier than you think. Start before you are ready.
Okay, so I'm going to say, to start with, always use other people's money to cover your payroll expenses, because most VMSs are at minimum 30 days, but career staff could be 65 to 90 days. So you have to, if you know what the rules of engagement are when you start, you can work around them with your billing rates. And career staff will allow you to make your own bill rates. Whatever you commit to, you got to live with, but every single shift is a bid shift. So if the facility can't get the staff, they're going to choose you. I mean, it can't be outrageous, but really, even on CNAs, you can get 75 to 100% markups. If you're paying $18, you can get $35, $36 bill rates. And that certainly covers your costs.
make sure everyone understands when you said you can get 100% markup for your CNAs. Just kind of bring it down to the very cellular level so everyone understand. I don't want to assume that everyone understand the
Okay,
staffing
so,
language.
so the markup, we'll work backwards here. The markup is the reimbursement rate or the bill rate divided by the pay rate. So, and -1. So if you are getting reimbursed for $36 an hour and you're paying a CNA $18 an hour, 36 divided by 18, 2.0. Okay, that's that quotient. Now you subtract 1, leaves you with 1.0 or 100%. That's your markup is 100%. Your margin is $18 or but your markup is 100%. So, and in our world, Eva, when she was talking about where she's paying a nurse almost the bill rate, that's in a 1099 world, you can do that. If you've got W-2s, you've got workers' comp expense, you got the employer share of the payroll expense. So you really don't want anything less than a 50% markup if you're going to recruit, credential, and place nurses. So 50% should be your minimum markup for CNAs, LPNs, or RNs. And in a lot of cases with CNAs, you can get 75 to 100% markups. So what our company can do, actually, if you signed up for career staff, we could have anyone here, and we don't evaluate our clients' creditworthiness or assets. So anyone on this call tonight could be approved by us with workers' comp in less than 10 business days. Okay, typically I'm getting workers' comp approval in 2 or 3 days right now. But if you have a contract with career staff and you've recruited nurses, you could be placing them in our system inside of 10 business days. And remember, we're offering unlimited funding. We have the payroll software. So it's a web-based payroll software. You're just inputting the hours and any pay changes. And if you wanted it, we also have the instant pay, which is pay at the end of the shift. So if you're looking to gain an advantage for recruiting in a competitive market, you now can offer daily pay for your nurses. And that sometimes will allow you to pay a little less because they're not waiting a week for their check. They're getting their money the same day. And then we invoice the clients. Other VMSs do a reverse invoice. We can have that conversation offline. But in effect, we're offering you workers' comp, we're offering you payroll software, and we're offering you 100% advance rate funding. So that covers your taxes, covers your pay, and you're getting your profits before your customers pay us. So right now we are adding more than one client every single week, which is, so after 26 years, we are having a, I saw somebody put in there, if they already have workers' comp, we can carve that out, and yes, we can get you approved if you have workers' comp. But after 26 years, we had a record year last year. We grew by 70% in 2020, and this year we're going to grow by over 100%. And Dr. Eva, you know our largest client out of Tampa, Gale Healthcare Solutions, and they're in their 6th year with us, and they're going to do $200 million this year. So, wow. and so they're using a lot of our capital, but again, you know, the guy who owns Gale started out 6 years ago as a manager of a nurse staffing office. He was ready to get into his own business. He figured out a few technology advantages and he was off to the races, but he has 300 people now He's got over 150 recruiters in his office. So, 150 recruiters and plenty of marketing people. And, but his is a transactional business. It's not a relationship business. Everybody on this call, and Dr. Eva has said it right. When she talks about the brilliant nurses lead. It's all about, and I earn referrals from Larry because Larry trusts me to do the right thing with his referrals. This is all about relationships, guys. If you have tight relationships with the facilities, they are going to keep you.
Yes.
If they think that you're overcharging, they're not going to just drop you. They're going to call you and say, we love your nurses, but honestly, we can't afford to pay that rate anymore. But it's all about relationships. That's how you're going to succeed. Your business is going to be built, and you're going to build your reputation. And you've heard it here in a different way tonight, but your reputation is built one shift at a time. Larry talked about having super nurses that go in and just outperform anybody else on the floor, and all of a sudden that gets a reputation. Just remember, good or bad, your reputation is created one shift at a time. If you get the right people in the right facilities, you follow up with them, you make sure that your people are happy and they're doing the right job, you're gonna wind up with more shifts. And don't be afraid to ask for a single shift just to get in the door, and then you want to outservice your competitors. If you do that, you're going to build a very strong business. And listen, I love the fact that over half of my first year clients did over $1 million in their first year. So listen, I'm a believer in your ability to succeed in a very big way. And not only do you get Eva's coaching, but we're going to provide strategic coaching as you grow to help you guys get to the $1 million mark, the $2 million mark, the $5 million mark, the 10, the 15. And what Eva was saying earlier is, if you create a separate EIN number just for the staffing and you're successful after 4 or 5 years, you may walk away, and this happens all the time. You build a $10 million business, you can flip it in a matter of a week or two and walk away a multimillionaire and figure out your next career. But if you want to become a millionaire, there's not a better business in the world that you can start with limited cap. And that's the other thing. We really, honestly, we don't look at our clients' credit or assets. You want to start with a limited budget, you can do this with VMS. And because of that, you can go out and build that $1 million business and literally create generational income for your family. I mean, I love what I do, and at my point in my career, the best I can do is give back to my clients and help them succeed. And I love the fact that even after doing this for just a few short years, I'm now in a position where literally with all the agencies I've helped, I now, and their families and their nurses, they've changed tens of thousands of lives. And I had a small part in helping to do that. So I love helping people, and I love seeing people succeed, especially when people come from disadvantaged backgrounds. The question is, why not? And why not now? There's not a better time in the last 25 years to start a nurse staffing agency. You had so many people retire in 2020. And no matter what the facilities say, there will always be a need for agency nurses, and it will not be replaced by computers. So you got a great opportunity to go out and create your own legacy and change the dynamics for your family, your friends, your employees. You're in a very special position. Eva, anything else you'd like from me?
I have a question, Dr. Eva. It's Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi. So my question for you, we recently I'm sorry, my 3-year-old likes to get loud when I get into something serious.
Give me 1 second. Go ahead and ask a question.
So we started with a government contract. The turnaround on it is not terrible. And the overhead is something that my partner and I can handle out of our own pockets. However, we also started with the VMS system today. And I was wondering, someone had asked the question before about if you already have workers' comp. Well, I wouldn't say we necessarily have workers' comp. It's through ADP and it's a pay by pay. So if we wanted to utilize you to handle payroll for those people that we staff through the VMS system, is that something that's still possible, or would we have to disassociate with ADP altogether? Because the only reason we got them is because they're tied in with our bank account. They're tied in with our bank account. So
so doing payroll is different than funding. Okay. And if you wanted to fund with us, no, you can't separate that. Okay. We'd have to be a sole provider because
right, and we're fine with that. But we were wondering if for like the state government contracts that we have that we're able to fund, would that cause a problem if we had ADP for that payroll and then utilized you and your services for the VMS funding and payroll?
Well, it'd have to be a separate FEIN, and you couldn't cross-utilize the nurses. Okay, because otherwise you're not reporting the payroll accurately. So I'll put my contact information, and we can talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Eva?
It's Niva.
Okay. No, I was looking for Dr. Eva. I wonder if she needed for me to cover anything else. Anybody else have questions for me?
How do we find you if we need you? Do we ask Dr. Eva for your contact information?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat box.
Okay.
I got my name, my cell number, and my email.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There any more questions for us? Let me look in the chat box. Yeah, that's your contact information is there. I am going to ask, I see Dr. Sharon Addison, tell us what we were talking about, and we have just another few minutes before we finish. We are actually just going to finish in the next 5-10 minutes, but I want to hear from Ravani Campbell, Jasmine Waters, and Sharon. They didn't speak yet. Really what we're talking about is, you know, Larry and Brian Nagel dropped some rich nuggets here, and I want to remind you of one of the things that came out strongly this afternoon is leverage your relationship, utilize vendor management. If you're afraid of vendor management, check it out. I can give you the address, the email address of the contact individuals for career staffing and favorite. We'll go with career staffing to start and check it out. Check it out. I saw Larry place in the chat box that when you are doing vendor management, check out other states. Guys, there is so much opportunity in your hand.
Eva, I want to make one correction on favorite.
Okay.
Favorite, you got to be in business for at least a year to work with favorite.
Yeah, they don't take the brand new ones, but the career staff will take you as a new person, right? So check out career staff. Sarah is a contact person. And I know one of my clients, one of our team members, actually reached out yesterday to Sarah, and they answered her within 24 hours or less. Listen, guys, go for the vendor management if you do not have any contract. We don't want you to just have a name and say you have agencies. There's a lot of agency names out there, but are you making money? If you're not making money, you're just running a nice agency hobby. Seriously, if you are not making money, you are running it's just a glorified hobby, and you have to step out there and do what it takes to get those contracts, hire those nurses, and move into those facilities. Jasmine, talk to us about your government contract. I know you were doing some contracts, or share some of your wins or anywhere that you've stuck. You're moving forward. I know you've been working hard. And then after Jasmine, I want to hear from Riovani and Sharon for a brief few minutes. And if you have any questions, or if you have any wins, or you want to share some accomplishments or whatever, just speak with us.
So we actually secured a spot as a vendor for 63 counties in Texas with the vaccination mobile clinics.
Wow.
I've kind of been out of the loop on everything. We just had our first event on Friday. And I will say, like Larry mentioned, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done everything from bake and design cakes to designing formal wear. And it's like with everything, there was always something that came up that made me stop. But for the first time, I have high functioning anxiety, but there's never a time when I don't have a meltdown in the middle of something. And Friday was the first time that I did something from start to finish. And I was cool, calm, and collected as if I were just in my element the whole time. I found out that morning that our connect at the health department had quit abruptly because of the stress from all the events. So we were working with people who had no idea what they were doing. So it made me more comfortable because if we didn't know what we were doing, they would know because they were in the same boat. So it actually worked out really, really well. That particular region, we had only asked for a few counties, but they asked if we would be willing to go to all of their counties. So we ended up, just off of our performance that day, getting several more counties added to the list that we're able to service. And today we started with the vendor management system. So we'll start trying to work with that here soon. And I'm trying to think. Starting out, I will say, be very consistent. Starting out, we did make a very big connection with Los Angeles County. The only thing is we couldn't get set up with their Department of Health for cost sharing because they had already, speaking of vendor management systems, made connection with a large, one of the top 10 companies in the healthcare staffing industry. And they pretty much had all of those things sewed up. So we had several hospitals willing to work with us, but they couldn't afford the rates because they wanted us to be able to do the cost sharing that the state was doing. However, anytime we tried to reach out to anyone with the state, we kind of got the runaround or met dead ends because there was already this company that had secured those slots. So what we did was we built a good rapport with those hospitals, got them kind of wanting nurses from us. And as soon as the state cut those COVID rates, we slid our contract right back in there. And so we're in the process of securing 2 more systems in California. I kind of went against, I went against Dr. Eva's, she was really preaching, stay in one state, but I kind of felt like if I did just Arkansas, I wouldn't get anywhere because I knew as a travel nurse where I live is hard to staff. You're usually going to get the older nurses who are really not in it for the money, only in it for the scenery. And the areas that needed travel nurses were areas that anytime you post about them in these travel nurse groups on Facebook, they talk about the high crime in the area. So I was like, well, Arkansas is not going to work. So my business partner is from Texas. I said, let's start in Texas. And she was like, fine, let's go. And actually the government contract in Texas was the first one that gave us the opportunity. And I mean, it's just, we did our first round of payroll today. It took me 2 days to get it entered for all of the staff, but it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it, and we can't wait till the next event. So I will say, just be persistent. Don't give up. Don't get tired. If you don't think you qualify for it, apply for it anyways. Because we definitely didn't think we met the qualifications for Texas, but we heard someone talking about it. They kind of leaked it in a bragging way, and we sought it out ourselves. Another agency owner was kind of bragging about it on social media. We saw it, did our Google research, found it, applied for it, and we're on board that quick. So, I mean, everything is literally a Google search away. And now we're trying to get 3 or 4 more cities or counties that have advertised looking for agencies to establish and run turnkey vaccination event sites.
Wow, this is great. Listen, Jasmine, I love it. I love it. And I want to just say this, guys. Move out of your state when you are comfortable. If you don't know what you're doing, that's what I was referring to earlier on. You see, Jasmine was able to move away out of one state because of the passion she had. She knew what she was doing. She has a great team, and you were the 4 S's: committed, you had confidence, you were consistent, and you made connection. You made connection. You were confident in what you're doing. You were consistent. From the day I heard Jasmine talking about the government contract, this girl has been consistent. She never gave up. And look at how far she has reached. At the end of the day, Jasmine, are you going to make a lot of money?
Well, that one day was a $54,000.
Come on.
And it was for 8:30 to 6. So if I could get a couple more of those, I'm fine with it, because we have a very small overhead. It's 2 partners. My family is a part of the company. Her family is a part of the company. So a couple more $50,000 days and we'll hit it. Is it tiring? Yes. I literally had to drive from my house with all of the equipment 9 hours in the middle of the night just to make it happen. But once it was over, I slept and I was up and ready to go again. So
perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Confidence, commitment, and you're making it happen. You see, I mean, I'm sure that when you first started, you grow as you go along. You learn as you go along. When people are shaky, you just move them out of the way and you take over. That kind of a thing. And this is the way you talk about the passion that you have and the love that you have for doing this. This is just exactly how I see the staffing agency. I have done many things as an entrepreneur, stepping away from the hospital executive level and step into entrepreneurship. And let me tell you, I've done training, I've done training, I've done consulting, I've done workshops, I've done seminars, I've done a lot of these, and all of this surrounding my business. But there's nothing that gives me a better and a stronger fulfillment than the staffing agency, especially, and it's not because I'm making a lot of money. It's not because when I see nurses are purchasing homes because they work with brilliant staffing company, when I see nurses are sending me verification to verify their salary, their money, their how much they are making so that they can get their mortgage, there's nothing else you can replace with that. That's fulfilling. That's satisfying. It's like it's priceless. I enjoy it. When a nurse leader is stressed out and say, Eva, we have 6 patients coming from the ER and we don't have nurses. Help us. And when I'm able to say, listen, 4 nurses are on their way. You have a sense of fulfillment here. It's not all about the money. It's what you're doing for the nurses, for your community and the facilities. You know, Jasmine, one of the things that I know that you must feel good about is the fact that you are vaccinating the COVID-19 vaccination, and you are making a difference in the lives of this people in this pandemic. So that alone is not even all about the money. The fact that you're a leader in the pandemic, it makes it worth it, guys. So I'm saying to you, it doesn't matter if it's in the pandemic, in the COVID-19 vaccine, in the hospital, the medical centers that we are, in the long-term care facilities, in the clinics, in the insurance company like Sheehan, wherever you are, guys, just focus on what you're doing and make the difference. When you focus on how you are impacting lives and the difference you're making and the value that you're adding to people, that's where the fulfillment comes in, and you make so much money and generate so much income when you get back to the why am I doing this? What's my why? What is my why? You deserve to be wealthy, guys. Sharon Addison, where are you in your staffing agency? And then I want to hear from Raven. I want to give you just 1 minute, and then because we're going to wrap it up. Sharon.
Hey, Dr. Eva. Hi, Brian. Hi, everybody listening in. Oh, my goodness. Makes me want to jump out of my skin. So exciting. Yes. Remember, there was some research, some stuff I needed to take care of, which I did. And so I got the information that I needed to move ahead. And once I clear some things with New Jersey, then I'm hoping to have some good news. So things are looking up for me on this end because there were some things I needed to do. New Jersey's a little bit different with NJHA. So I have to, and plus I have a home care. So there's some things that I'm putting in place for it. So
yes,
pretty soon I'll have some good news.
Thank you, Sharon. Listen, guys, just know that you have enough information. Don't keep saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have enough information. Don't ask for more information. Don't say you don't have information. You do have enough information. Start with where you are with what you have, because what you have is more than enough. Start where you are with what you have. What you have is more than enough. You have what it takes, guys. All you have to do is just start the next step. Just start. Just don't wait to gather more. I know some people on the line, they're asking for more information. They're asking for videos. They're asking for this. You don't need any more videos. You don't need any more information. You have everything. Just start. And when you meet, when you get to the level where you need to ask questions, then you say, hey, Eva, what should I do here? Hey, Dr. Hey, Brian, what should I do here? Here, Larry, what should I do here? Do what you can. Don't just sit back on all this good information. Look how excited Jasmine get the fact that she is passionate about what she's doing. She's tired, but she loves it. Some days I'm tired, but I love it. Rhea Vonnie Campbell, how many contracts have you gotten so far? I know you have been working on some. Talk to us. You got a minute. Ravani Campbell, you got a minute. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Ravani. Did she disappear? I can't find her. Okay, well, until Ravani is okay, guys. So here's the thing now. We have all heard from each of you, and you hear it, and you have heard it loud and clear. Take the next step. Each and every one of you has a next step to take. Write down what's your next step. I've heard all the next steps, and we are all here to support you and to help you to move the needle on this in this healthcare staffing company. Take that next step. Don't sit on it and say, nah, I can't be bothered. I don't have enough information. I'm tired. I thought it was going to be easier. No, it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. And remember, guys, if it's for you, it's for you. If this is not your calling, maybe it's not your calling. But if this is something that you have been thinking about for years and you have never stepped out and do it, I just want to encourage you to step out and to own it, because you deserve to own it. Don't take advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. Stop getting non-staffing individuals in your business and getting advice from them. Read up, ask questions, and just go for it. Go follow the blueprint. If you're really stuck to the point that I really don't know what I'm talking about, connect with me, call me, schedule an hour with me, and I will walk you through the steps again. 954-534-4144, or you can send me an email or message me on Facebook or wherever. I'm everywhere. You can connect with me. I want to see you succeed. It is my dream and my passion for every single one of you guys to succeed in the staffing company and get with Brian when it comes to the funding and the insurance and all these good stuff. He can help you. He will help you. Brian can help you to become a millionaire. See, and remember, if you don't have a contract, consider vendor management. You heard Larry's story. Larry spoke about it loud and clear, and you heard what Brian said about some of his clients. Take it, you can become a millionaire just by getting into vendor management. If you don't have any contract, I want you to walk away today saying that I am going to connect with career staffing. If you are on the line today and you don't have a contract, I want you to connect with career staffing tomorrow. Okay? Any other questions or any other point before we wrap it up? Any other comment that anyone has a comment that they want to make or any questions? Comment or questions? Brian, you have a last word or final word to say before we?
Yes. Even you do great work, and I'm so glad that I had connected with Larry months ago, because that literally reinforces everything that we talked about tonight. Larry really walks the walk, and even though he's so successful, he's still looking at opportunities to grow his business using different tools. So even though he's got direct bill contracts, he's still looking at VMS. So it's not an all or nothing situation. Young lady in Texas with the state contract, but now looking at other options there. So, you know, don't confine your thought process to a single avenue. Look at ways that make sense. If you're getting the right markups and you wind up with a profit, some profit is better than none. So as long as you're making a profit, you're growing. And that's my final word. So and anybody has any questions for me, my cell phone is there and my email is there, and reach out to me anytime.
Okay, so you have a phone number out there. And remember that that formula that Brian talked about, 8 RNs, say it again, Brian, real quickly, and write it down.
8 registered nurses working 3 12s, so 36 hours a week each, billing out at $75 an hour over 52 weeks. So it's 8 times 36 times 75 times 52. The end result is $1,123,200. And who on this call wouldn't like an extra $1 million in their business next year? It's a nice, simple formula with 8 nurses. It's very believable, and your calculator doesn't lie.
Yes, yes. And with that, I say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure. It is so much fun working and connecting with each and every one of you leaders, entrepreneurs who are going to the next level. I know that success is your birthright, and I know that you're going to be successful in this endeavor. Take it seriously. Know that it's a journey, and know that you just start. You may just start, but you have a long way to go. But there's fulfillment, there's joy in it, and I know you are going to do very well. Just know that you're changing lives every day. Just know that you're making a difference. Get back to your why. It's all about your why. Why did you start in the first place? Why did you decide to start a staffing agency? Many of you have started and you weren't thinking about the money or the income that you will be generating. You're thinking about your own colleagues that you're helping in this pandemic. You have your own reasons why you've decided to choose this profession or to step into this industry. And I want to encourage you to continue working hard Continue to be passionate about what you're doing and change lives. Continue to serve. Continue to support your community and your fellow nurses and do big things. Have a great evening and thank you again for coming. And with that, I say, God bless you all and thank you, Brian, for everything that you're doing for our team. And we appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Brian, everyone. God bless you and thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.